Hey everyone, my name is Ashley Cook. I recently graduated from Georgia State University, class of 2020. My area of interest is working with homeless veterans. I would like to, or my main goal is to have my own shelter for this specific population. I would say that my passion came from having an older brother who was diagnosed with PTSD after coming out of the military, and just see him transitioning from military life to civilian life with this mental illness. Um, I seen that it was a struggle for him just transferring from North Carolina to Atlanta, Georgia, and not receiving the same services that he would receive in North Carolina. Um, uh, my leadership and management experience comes from my current job. I have the opportunity to work with call center agents and just reviewing their call flow, making sure they're following the call flow that the job has subscribed to them, or making sure that they are aware of the job protocol. Um, I think in order for social workers and human service professionals to transfer their skills from micro to macro social work, they have to be willing and open for change and just willing to want to transfer from the micro social work to macro social work. Um, they must be willing to go from working with one population to working with an entire community. For example, last year I had the pleasure of working with the Atlanta Center for Self Sufficiency. And in the Atlanta for Self Sufficiency, I worked with the Homeless Veterans Department, where I had just one-on-one interaction um, through the shelters, or just having that one-on-one interaction with um, at the facility itself, where we would just go over client goals and things like that, as opposed to my current intern. I would be working with macro social work. And in order for me to succeed in the current intern, I would need to be open to change, um, and just making sure that I'm willing and wanting to do the work of macro social work. Just finding out working with a team collaboratively to make sure that the entire community is receiving the services that they need, and making sure that we solve the social problems that they're actually having within the community. Um, in my past internship, I was able to work under two social workers who led the department. My supervisor, who graduated from Clark Atlanta University, led the homeless veterans department. And my task manager led the homeless veterans department, but she was later transferred over to the department leader of women in domestic violence. She's now ahead of that department, and she's doing very well. They are two people that give me encouragement to this day, so I'm able to just text and call just to let them know my concerns, and they're willing to give me feedback on what it is that I need to change, or what would make my situations better. So they're very good mentors. Um, I think social workers will lead organizations differently than someone who is in a business or public administration, because we have been taught core values that allows us to put the client first. As social workers, we make sure that their needs are met. If the client needs further assistance, we make it our duty to tend to those needs as well. We also demonstrate empathy and communication to build client trust. Without these three aspects, the organizations cannot stay afloat. And I think it's always good to have that empathetic um, characteristic, because it lets the clients know that you care. And the competency that it demonstrated effectively was competency two: possesses interpersonal skills that support the viability and positive functioning of the organization. This competency is effective because it makes the leader aware of the characteristics you need to be successful. For example, being professional and finding a common ground between you and the client. Clients will always respect you if you look professional and remain professional during an interaction. And also, just finding a common ground means you're finding a solution to the client's issue, which the client will always be grateful for the time you've spent or have taken to find that solution.